Alright, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Jaden Williams, King Nate, whatever you want to call me. To anyone that has been following me the past couple years or subscribed to me, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know that my content went to like a non-existent, and from the last time I posted till now, a lot has taken place, and I just kind of want to speed you all up on that. I am still in transition. I'm still, transitioning, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I checked my page, and the last time that I actually posted was about 3 years ago. So as of date, I have been transitioning now for 4 years. Really much happy about that. I want to talk about my previous content. As you've seen, I was real happy-go-lucky, very happy, smiling, posting, things of that nature. There was a point in my transition where I felt like I was lost. I felt that I was trying to fit in with the average society of the black trans male. Hate to say it, a lot of trans guys will not admit that, but I will go and say that there was a stigma in my head that I felt that, I want to fit in, and I want to, be on the same page as everybody. I want to do my voice updates, and I want to show, my body transition and my facial hair and things of that nature. And then I started to realize that there was a lot of lack of self-love and self-worth that I had within myself. So I stepped back out of the camera. With that being said, in the past 3 years, or 3.5, 4 years now, let's see, the employment or the job that I was with for 5 years, driving for Greyhound, I left them last year. During the pandemic, clearly a lot of people had lost their job. A lot of jobs were offering furloughs, or they were making people furlough. I voluntarily took a furlough, and I left that job to take time for myself. Now, what time for myself would you ask? Well, y'all ready for this? In 2020, March 9th to be exact, as everybody remember, the pandemic started to become something that everybody was talking about and posting about, oh, what's going on? There's this thing called COVID-19, etc. Well, at that time, I was living in Mobile, Alabama, and I was still employed with Greyhound at that time. And one night I received a call, and I was told pretty much that my older sister, 2 years older than me, she passed away. There was nothing it's hard to explain. There was pretty much nothing within me that would have even expected that to happen. No one in my family saw it coming. It happened, I will just say, her death definitely took a major toll on my mental health. It took a major toll on my transition. It took a major toll on my employment, just me all in general, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. I went pretty much from my highs to my lows. So, like I said, that's for another video. Like I said, rest in peace to my sister. Miss her dearly. She was only 29 years old when she passed away. Like I said, there was nothing medically wrong with her prior to that. She just passed away one day, and for anybody that may have any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to, either email me, find me on Instagram, or just comment below. And depending on how you ask your question, I may or may not answer it. If it's too deep, then I'm not going to answer it. But beyond that, like I said, I took some time off for myself, and I ended up doing 6 months of just pretty much, mental cleansing. Also, that's what I thought it was. I pretty much ended up going through a lot of grief and a lot of anxiety and stress. Now, prior to transitioning, I had already been on medication for anxiety and depression. But within the pandemic happening and my sister's passing, everything just went phew. And I I just went. So with that being said, I remember there was days of me just not sleeping. There was days of me drinking. I mean, and when I say drinking, I took it to another level. Drinking from sun up to sundown, sun up to sundown. Not eating, not being healthy, not taking care of myself. I distanced myself from a lot of people, and I had to get beyond that. Over time, I started to get better, and in 2020, end of 2020, going in 2021, that's where I felt more comfortable to go ahead and start employment somewhere else. Now, I still was currently hired at Greyhound, but they did not call anyone from a furlough, so everybody was still furloughed. So a lot happened with that. I ended up leaving Mobile and coming back to the East Coast. When I came back to the East Coast, I pretty much hid, and a lot of people did not know I hid. And to give myself clarity and time to myself, I hid at a friend's house. And when I say hid, I pretty much was in the country, and I made sure that no one really knew where I was or what I was doing. Then, along with that, I made a drastic change because, of course, I was not thinking straight. One day, I had a friend or somebody I was talking to. I ended up pretty much just picking my stuff up, and next thing you know, I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Yeah. So literally have been here in Philly since the end of 2020. So about a year now. Philadelphia has been very different for me. I only had one friend when I came out here, and the lady that I was involved with, after that ceased with her, I just had that one friend here. So it was pretty much me starting over and finding myself. I kind of liked it because it gave me a chance to be me. No one knew prior me, so I felt like, oh, I can go in this job, I can be stealth, no one has to find out about me, things of that nature. And it was going pretty well, and it's been going pretty decent. But to find your grounding somewhere else that you have never been or anything of that nature is quite difficult, I must say. There was definitely points where I was asking myself, like, what the hell are you doing here? Pretty much. So yeah, with that being said, I've been here, met a lot of decent individuals. I would say the LGBTQ community up here is actually very awesome compared to a lot of places that I've been. I met a lot of influencers. I was able to broaden my horizons and started meeting new friends. Employment's always been pretty decent for me, but so far as finding something that I felt that would help keep me financially stable was really rough, because I ended up making the decision last year in June when I got called back from Greyhound. But finally, yeah, a year and some change later, they called pretty much half of the drivers back. And I asked myself, I said, do I want to go back? And that's when I decided to cease my 5-year career as a Greyhound bus driver, which was probably one of the hardest things I walked away from. I did it for myself. Like I said, that's another story too. I went through a lot with that job, but it also helped me grow. I met a lot of good people. But I also lost a lot of good people because a little bit after my sister passed, I lost a lot of good driving instructors and trainers and people that were very close to my heart, because one thing with that employment, we weren't just drivers, we were family. So I made a lot of family and lasting friendships with that job, and that's something that I hold dear and close to my heart. With that being said, I stepped my foot back in the truck because I was driving buses, and I've got my CDL Class A, which is the license for you to drive larger sized vehicles. So I'm back in tractor trailers as we speak. That's been fun, but I will tell you that along with this transition has came a lot of highs and lows. let me just run back. When I was in Alabama, the services and the finding a doctor and going to appointments out there was completely different. Instead of going to like a office that I would go to out here that supports the LGBTQ community, Alabama did not have that. Not in that part of Alabama I was in. I actually had to go to a endocrinologist, which was probably one of the most embarrassing things I ever went through. Because here I am, whole man, sitting up in an office, primarily Caucasian folks, and I'm the only male and there's all women and an endocrinologist. If y'all don't know what an endocrinologist is, you look it up, Google it. And I'm sitting in there and it was very uncomfortable, and that doctor actually ended up, long story short, she ended up messing with my dosage of my testosterone that I was on, and she had altered it based on, from what she said, lab results, which she wouldn't let me see, which is against the law. If anybody ever fucking tells you that you cannot see your lab results, that is against the fucking law. Just want to put that out there. But she lowered my dosage because she said my levels were too high. With that being said, when she lowered my dosage, I went from, I want to say 6 months, and this right here is another embarrassing thing that I choose in this year. I went through 6 months of a cycle, of a flow, of an unflow, of a menstrual cycle. My levels were so low. Those 6 months were the worst for me. I will tell you, it was not the pains that a woman will receive while she's on her menstrual cramps or anything. It was the feeling of being embarrassed. It was the feeling of, you know, you feel like on your forehead is written, you know, I'm bleeding, and things of that nature. When I told her that that had happened, she didn't really do much for me. And that, like I said, was rough for me. And that was every freaking month, like on a regular schedule basis, like most females who are regular on their cycle. I was having a cycle every month for 6 months. When I got back to the East Coast, like I said, after my sister passed and I came back to the East Coast, I ended up going back to the doctors that I was going to in Virginia. They took me right on. I restarted everything with them. They pretty much took me on. I told them the whole story that what had happened in Alabama. They checked my levels and everything. They placed me on a dose. I would say within maybe 3 weeks to a month, everything ceased. I have not seen it since. And that was at the end of 2020 going in 21. So that was a lot. Yeah, just thinking about it, going into the store, needing pads or tampons, whatever y'all or whoever uses females, when I'm saying y'all, I say females, that was embarrassing because I haven't experienced that in years. Even before I transitioned, I was not regular with my cycle, so I wasn't used to a month, you know, thing. Like I said, I got back on with the services in Virginia. Everything worked out. Things were great. I mean, I've been happy since. So getting the access to testosterone was not rough for me, as it was for some people. But along with getting testosterone, a lot of people think it's just about getting the tea and needles and, you know, doing the injections. It's a lot more with it because testosterone affects your mental, it affects your emotions. So I recommend to anyone who is new or just starting on testosterone, it's okay to go to counseling, therapy, talk to someone, because it definitely helps within your transition. This is not easy. It has not been easy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, no, don't do it, don't do it. But I will tell you that you have to be a strong individual. You have to trust the process. And you have to understand that you do not have to go through this alone. So heads up to any guys who may be watching this video, to anybody that is curious about transitioning, feel free to contact me. I do not mind talking with you. We can keep it anonymous. We can keep it private. Whatever the case may be, I'm here to help. And so on. Like I said, let's speed up to being out here in Pennsylvania. When I first came out here, like I said, to Philly, I was finding my footing. The services out here, and thus far, they have some of the best LGBTQ centers. And this is to anybody that it's not even just going through transition. Anybody that needs prep, which if you don't know what prep is, look it up. Anybody that may have HIV, or anybody that have AIDS, or anybody that needs mental health or therapies or Medicaid, anything of that nature, help with top surgery, letters for top surgery. I will say Pennsylvania has some of the best resources that I have witnessed thus far. Prior to moving anywhere, everybody, if you did not know, my name is fully legally changed. I got that changed in 2018. My gender marker has been changed since about 2018, 2019. My birth certificate has been changed since about 2021. And the last and final was last year, was my social security card, which I received, and that's fully changed. So legally, everything is changed within me. I did that in the state of Virginia. Now, anybody that lives in Pennsylvania or that may be moving to Pennsylvania, I will say that it is very hard out here to change your name and to get some of that services done. It's a little bit different out here. I've been trying to help a couple close friends that are trying to switch and change over gender markers and things of the nature. The process is a little bit different here. But what I will say from my experience is that I was able to help a handful of guys before in the past with their name change and stuff, and they were living in other states like Florida and things of that nature. And that's just by research. So anybody that may need help with that, I don't mind helping you looking up the resources, because I can tell you now from the tip of my tongue that no one helped me with that entire process of me changing everything legally. I did that on myself. It was a lot of research. It was a lot of paperwork. It was a lot of denials. It was, oh, you need this, but you need this. You got to go to do this, to do that. And you have to stick to it. And I will tell you now, if something is important to you and you really want it, then you will go do it. So, yeah. But, yeah, y'all, beyond that, everybody wants to know how I am. Speed y'all up. I'm 29 years of age. Turned 29 in November. Like I said, I just hit 4 years on testosterone on the 16th of this month. Still living in Pennsylvania. And transitioning has been decent. Like I said, I'm right now at a point in my life where I'm more focused on the mental and emotional and physical aspects of my transition, because a lot of times I suffer through dysphoria. And when I suffer through dysphoria, I say that because I have not had any surgeries. So in the bit early stages of my transition, it didn't really bother me much. And then I had told two of my very close best friends pretty much that I was so humble about this experience and being able to go through this, that when I felt emotionally and mentally and physically ready, that's when I would go and start proceeding towards top surgery, because top surgery was something for me that you just don't run like to the grocery store and go get a stick of butter. This is something that you have to look up. You need to look at the reviews. You need to see, what doctor you're going to. You need to make sure what financial aspects do you have. You need to see if you have insurance, if your insurance takes this, what type of letters you need and things of that nature. There's a couple steps to it. So with that being said, I am praying and being very hopeful and manifesting that at least by the end of this year, beginning of next year, that I will have my top surgery set in stone. This is something that I've been working on for myself. Like I said, my dysphoria has been really rough with that. I don't know how to explain it. It's just pretty much, it's a point where when you're looking at yourself and you see yourself, and then you start to realize that you're just very uncomfortable, or you feel like that's not you, or you feel like something is missing. So, with that being said, that is something that I'll be working on for myself. Trying to think anything else major. Like I said, I know a couple guys on the dysphoria level that are working towards their bottom surgery, or that have had them bottom surgery. That's not something that is a issue for me at the moment. So I'm not gonna really talk about it and touch bases into that, but that is not something that I'm shooting for at the moment. Right now, I'm just worried about my top surgery and my mental, emotional, physical, spiritual health throughout my transition, because I will say, again, during this transition, you're going to need someone to help you get through this, because this society, this world we live in, this pandemic is very rough. You run into different amounts of people, people who mispronoun you, people who find out that you are trans and want to pick and pry at things. Oh, so let me see a picture when you were a girl, or what was your name before, and things of that nature. I don't discuss that with anybody unless I like literally know you and I'm able to talk about that with you. I don't walk into a conversation with someone. Next thing I'm gonna throw out there, I know I hear a lot of people talk about it for dating, being trans. Excuse me, dating and being trans has not been hard. In a way it has, but it hasn't. I'll say it like this. I'm very blunt, I'm very real. I'll put it out there to anybody. I'm trans. Yes or no? You either want me, yes or no. If you don't, you do, you don't, let me know. Currently, I'm not dating. I'm more focused on myself at the moment and trying to get better in life. But I will say to anybody that is dating or planning to date as they go through their transition, to remember that your love, your self-love is the best love. And sometimes going through it alone is not bad, but if you need someone there for you, then go ahead. By all means, that is for you. But what's for you may not be for me, and what's for me may not be for you, So that's that. But I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all view this. Y'all tell me what you think. Leave some comments. Share this if you feel free to. Again, I thank you all so much for following me after all these years. Again, I apologize. It has been a very long time since I've posted any content. But as you know, I sped up pretty much to, in a nutshell, what has been happening in the past 3 to 4 years. And I hope that you all understand. In the near future, I will be working towards podcasting and getting my channel out there. That is something that I'm shooting for again. I have a lot of goals set for myself by this year, so I'm working on a lot. So within my YouTube content, if I can weigh both, then I will. But if I tend to walk away from my YouTube content, then I will stir towards my podcast, and I will let you all know. But again, thank you all for your love and your support. Follow me, subscribe, share this, ask questions. I love you all. Stay safe, wear your mask, get vaccinated, whatever you need to do. God bless. Peace out.